What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, wanted to do a recap here. I'm sorry we didn't have anyone to actually bring on. Certainly tried, but circumstances just didn't really get it to work out that way. But nevertheless, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about this preview of the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots. Uh, So this is obviously an international game, one of the few games that are being played in Germany this year. And of course, there's going to be a lot of different things that can happen there, right? Uh, Teams traveling to different locations, especially foreign land like this. We've seen, some good teams travel to places like London and like Germany and, have some really bad games, right? And we've seen a lot of bad performances by some good teams in these type of areas. No one really knows what that is. It's mostly due to the fact that it's basically fatigue. That's going to be the big thing here. Both of these teams left Thursday night or Thursday afternoon or evening to go to Germany. So obviously all of them are landing on Friday morning pretty much Friday morning or Friday afternoon almost for them. So there's going to be a lot of different things that go into this. And of course, the guys are going to be tired. Guys are going to be fatigued, jet lag, all this stuff. But that's going to happen on both sides, right? It's all just going to be a matter of who is the most mentally prepared for this game going into this. Now, we have heard the rumors that Bill Belichick may not survive this game if they lose. Apparently, there's been rumors going around that Robert Kraft would fire Bill Belichick if the Colts lost this or won this game in Germany. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say I don't think that's true. After talking with Destin the other day, he brought up a good point, and I kind of brought it up I kind of agree with it, saying that it just doesn't seem like a Robert Kraft thing to, fire Bill Belichick right in the middle of a season. The team's not getting any better because of it. And Bill Belichick has had a long tenure with a lot of great things going for him. So I doubt that would happen. But it certainly is a situation now where Indianapolis feels that they can really get the better of New England for the first time in a long time. This New England team that we're facing, obviously, much worse than any New England team we've seen within the last 20 years, basically. They're 2-7. They're dead last in the AFC East. And it's not been a great start for them this year. They have had injury problems really badly. They have had personnel issues at the quarterback position, a lot of different things. Mac Jones is the starting quarterback right now. But outside of that, there's really not a lot to go into it because, you look at him and it's funny because Mac Jones has been completing nearly 65% of his passes. So he's been a pretty accurate guy for the most part. But the problem is you're 9 weeks into the season and Mac Jones is only averaging 207 yards a game throwing the football. And that's been the big issue. And then, of course, we talk about his touchdown to interception ratio has thrown 9 interceptions this year. Now, granted, 3 of those came against the Dallas Cowboys, but he has definitely had an issue with turning the ball over. That is something that cannot be ignored. And it's one of those games where we saw Indianapolis last week take advantage of the turnovers that Carolina gave them last week. This could very well be another situation where Mac Jones, who has clearly regressed from what he was even just 2 years ago to what he is now, you take the chance on something like that. You wouldn't take the chance on that. And not to mention, he's been sacked 16 times through 9 games. That's not really that great. I mean, when you look at it from that perspective, Gardner Minshew's been sacked 15 times this year. But he's played in all 9 games too. But I mean, at the same time, Gardner's been the main reason for that problem. Nevertheless, Mac Jones is taking a lot of sacks also. So this is a type of situation where, I mean, you really think that you can outscore this team. I mean, total points per game, New England is averaging 15 points a game offensively. 15 points a game. And their opponents are averaging 25. So this is a perfect opportunity for Indy, who has been the only team to score 20 points in every single game. And this is a team that is giving up 25 points a game on average. That should be very easily done, is being able to get 23 to 27, 23 to 28 points easy for these guys. And you're hoping that you're going to get Zaire Franklin back, and that is going to help you with being able to lock down these players. Now, going into the rushing game, again, not much to go off of. I think the most important stat is when you're talking about what the New England Patriots are able to do rushing the football. I mean, we talk about Ramondre Stevenson. He's obviously their number one back, but he has only had 394 yards this season so far. Jonathan Taylor, who's played in 4 less games, has only 140 less rushing yards than Ramondre Stevenson. So clearly we're seeing, Jonathan Taylor's resurging, but Ramondre Stevenson hasn't really become the all-purpose every down back now. It's been a lot of Ezekiel Elliott recently since coming to New England. He's been averaging about the same amount of yards per carry as Stevenson, about the same number of touchdowns. Hasn't had quite the most explosive plays, but Ezekiel Elliott has become more of their short yardage and red zone type guy because, he packs that kind of punch and, he has that big playability still. So, of course, it's funny because I think if I look at it and it's like the dumbed down version of Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor is what Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott are. Both guys whose skill sets, they complement each other really well, but the problem is there's just not a lot of explosive plays by Stevenson. There's not a lot of explosive plays by Stevenson and Elliott. Stevenson and Elliott only averaging about 73 yards a game rushing the football. And I mean, when you talk about the rushing that they do have, they're averaging 86.7 yards a game rushing the football. I mean, it's not that great. And their opponents are getting 100 plus rushing yards against them. This is a game where, again, we talked about this several times. The Indianapolis Colts have not been good at stopping the run. And that is the big problem with New England, is if they can run the football against Indianapolis, then we have an issue going in, because Indy's been averaging 123 yards a game. So clearly they should be able to run the football against New England. But New England also has a unique opportunity to be able to do the same thing to Indianapolis. Now, the run game against them hasn't killed the Indianapolis Colts the last few weeks, but it has certainly given struggling offenses, a chance to be able to move the football. And that's the one thing we got to be worried about. Zaire Franklin being back, if he's back for that game, will be a huge addition. And the Colts have really not done a terrible job over the last few years of stopping New England from running the football. They haven't really ran the football that much against the Indianapolis Colts. So not entirely worried about that. But all in all, like I said, I mean, it's a opportunity for both of these offenses to go at it, right? Now receiving wise, again, with Mac Jones and everything else, there has not really been a lot of great circumstances when it comes to all these guys. I mean, it's crazy because there is 8 different guys on their roster, 8 different players this year for New England that has double-digit receptions this year. So New England spreads the ball around a lot. Kendrick Bourne is their leading receiver with 37 catches for 406 yards. To put into context of that, that would be number 3 receiver numbers for Indianapolis this year. We've already talked about how Indy, is extremely top heavy with their receptions, right? But I mean, because outside of Pittman and Downs, no one has 20 receptions for Indianapolis this year. New England has 5 guys with over 20 receptions. So they pass the ball around a lot. There's no one to really game plan specifically behind unless you're wanting to put your best corner on Kendrick Bourne, which is probably your best bet because he does have a little bit of a leap over everyone else. And then your second leading receiver on your team from a reception standpoint is Ramondre Stevenson. So the Colts, even with their secondary decimated, still has a good chance of being able to, if you can keep Kendrick Bourne from beating you deep, then you have a unique opportunity to be able to get things done, and especially not allowing New England to get moving down the field. Like I said, they're only getting 207 yards per game passing the football. And that is definitely quite a bit. I mean, when you think about what Gardner Minshew can do, Gardner Minshew does have a couple times where he is able to get things moving. Now, looking at it from an injury perspective, we'll talk about the injuries sustained. 3 players that New England has already ruled out. Tackle Trent Brown is out. Not injury related. It's a personal issue. Certainly hope that there's nothing more to report on with that. Hopefully everything's okay with Trent Brown. But that's left tackle out. Left tackle. That's already that. And this has already not been a great offensive line unit for New England. And now you're missing your left tackle. Could be heyday if Samson Ebukam is able to make things work for Indy. Another couple guys, Devontae Parker, who a few years ago, I mean, everyone was talking about this guy could be the next great addition to New England's passing offense. And I mean, it's crazy to see, he's not even a top 6 receiver on their team. He has, I think he's got the 7th or 8th most receptions on the team. I mean, he had less receptions than Ezekiel Elliott. So clearly Devontae Parker has not been utilized in the system much. I mean, he has missed 2 games already. So, I mean, that kind of hurts as well. But that's another one that they're missing. And then J.C. Jackson, their cornerback, he is missing also with a not injury related personal issue. So again, hope everything's okay there. But a couple other guys that are out or questionable. Demario Douglas is questionable. Their backup left tackle is questionable for that. And they have, so their 4th string and 3rd string left tackles are placed on IR. They don't have their starting left tackle, and their 2nd string line or left tackle will have to play in the game, and he may not even be ready. I mean, he's questionable. They're still wondering if he's going to play or not. But I mean, the offensive depth for the offensive line for the New England Patriots is decimated. And then a couple other guys, Christian Barmore, questionable at nose tackle. Dietrich Wise Jr., an edge rush guy. questionable to play. Jawan Bentley, questionable to play at linebacker. A couple other guys, cornerbacks, Jonathan Jones and Miles Brandt, questionable to play in that game. So you're starting two corners outside of JC Jackson are also questionable. So very, very banged up. I know we talked about being banged up. Obviously, our corner room is decimated and everything else, and we're missing Grover Stewart. But outside of that, most of our guys are good to go. And even if Josh Downs doesn't go, at least you have your two outside wide receivers. You know you got guys. This is a much more deep problem for New England than what Indy has going for them in this game. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do. It's going to be an interesting game, guys. Maybe a really low-scoring game. I'll admit, Bill Belichick always seems to have a defensive game plan, but at the same time, they're missing a lot of their big key guys. Matthew Judon is not there for this game, who terrorized Indy last year. Braden Smith being back probably this week. So you may have your starting offensive line for the first time, one of the few times this year for this game, which would be huge. So there's going to be a lot of interesting takes on this game, and it's going to be interesting to watch. But make sure y'all are watching. If you made it this far into the video, I will be live streaming that game. I will be live streaming it. I know I haven't been around the last couple weeks. 2 weeks ago, I had. I don't even remember what I was doing on that Sunday. I was at the Colts game. I was at the Colts game when they played against the Saints with my friend Toby and my friend Josh and Chase. So, I mean, I wasn't able to live stream that game. And obviously last Sunday, I had Cody's wedding that I went to. So I've been busy with some of these, but I will be live streaming the game on Sunday. So be sure to check that out. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.